Cuties, I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. Today is Monday, January the 16th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, you know what? I'm going to give it an 8.5. It was solid. I don't know. General Hospital in the new year has really been bringing it. I'm loving that they are wrapping up this Willow storyline, and it feels like moving it forward. So, I don't know. It's just been good to me lately. That don't mean I like everything about it, but so let's go on to Elizabeth and Nicholas. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was in and out of this one. These two. So I did hear that. Oh, sorry. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know I did. Okay, so Elizabeth and Nicholas are talking, and he's telling her that the room has been wiped down and cleaned up. Victor took care of it, but then Victor put all of Esme's things in the storage unit. And she was like, why? He said to use for leverage. She said, that's sick. He said, that's Cassadine. And so then, they're talking about everything with Esme. And as for right now, she might not get her memory back. She still doesn't have it, but they don't know for sure. So for right now, they're in the clear, but they don't know. And so then Nicholas asked Elizabeth about, hey, remember when you were going through your thing and you were having those memory blackouts and everything? And she tells him about, the whole thing about her parents and how they really caused that because of the accident that happened with her and Finn's wife, Rinko, I believe that was her name. And so he was like, man, I'm sorry your parents did you like that. And so they just catching up. And I guess at the end, they just agree to try to cover each other's back and just keep silent and hope Esme doesn't get her memory back. And so then we go over here to Laura's in the room with Esme. So when Esme wakes up, she's like, oh my God, what are you doing in here? And Laura said, I'm here because, I wanted to check on you. And she tells her she's Mayor Collins. And she says, oh, your husband is the psychiatrist. And she said, yes. She said, do you remember you're carrying my grandchild? And so she says, Esme is gone. I like this Esme, y'all. I do. She says, and that just shows you how versatile this young actress is, because she can play a villain and then she can play like this sweet little role. And so she's like, oh, wait, I don't know him, but I know Spencer, your grandson. He's real nice. I hope he's my child's father. He's real nice. He came to visit me. And Laura is a little confused. So she said, is this Spencer? She said, he's younger. And she said, this man is the child? And she said, oh, I'm not sure, but I think it's possible. And he said we were dating and all that. And, I went here. I came here with them and I was his girlfriend. And she was like, huh. And so then Laura says, she tells Esme, do you not remember anything? And Esme was like, no. And she says, everybody keeps saying I was this horrible person. She was like, can you tell me anything about myself? And I said, baby, Laura gonna tell you the truth. And the truth is you were a horrible girl, but you were still, sometimes she was still my girl though, because she's such a wonderful actress. And honestly, guys, we would not like the soaps if everybody was a goody two shoes. We would not like the soaps. You have to have your villain. But anyways, so then Dante comes in, right? And when Dante comes in, he's questioning her, and she says she doesn't know the Christmas ornament, and Laura looks and everything. They're like, no, she doesn't know the Christmas ornament. And he said, will you talk to me if you do it? She said, why would I talk to you when you trying to arrest me? Sir, make that make sense. And he said, well, yeah. I guess that does make sense that you wouldn't want to. So then Dante and Laura go out and talk. I forgot to take one with just these two. Sorry about that, guys. So Laura and Dante go out and talk, and he says, do you think she's faking it? And honestly, I don't think Esme is faking this. At first I thought maybe after a day or two that she would remember, but the longer it goes on, I wouldn't mind her not remembering and her being this completely different person. I wouldn't mind that, because I know some of y'all was like, what Esme did to Cameron, she could never be with him. And I get it. But if this Esme were to get with Cameron, I could see it. I really could see it. But anyways, child, let's move on. Because she says, I don't think she's faking it. And then they go in on Esme, and she's really concentrating on that ornament, trying to remember. Oh, yeah. We go over here with Taggart. And Taggart, we go over here with Curtis and Portia, and he just tells her, you got to calm down, because if you keep telling Trina to stay away from Spencer, you're gonna do exactly what you don't want. You're gonna make exactly what you don't want happening, is which Trina, because Trina already told us, mind your business. He said, so that's gonna push her towards him. So you better calm down, Portia. I said, girl, yes. How many times? You know, we see this all the time in real life and on TV screens, where you tell somebody, leave him alone, leave him alone, leave him alone. And they be like, I'm gonna mess with him. But anyways, so she's like, oh, I just don't want her with them. And then they get a knock on the door. She said, oh, that better. And I said, what you gonna do to Spencer? Like, what can you tell him? At this point, that's a teenager too. Like, I don't know. Like, that's his relationship with, all right, keep messing with that young man. And Trina gonna be right where you don't want her. And so anyways, it's Taggart. He's come over and he says, I saw that picture of Trina with the Cassadine. What's going on? And he said, you know, Curtis spoke up. He said Trina has asked for, you know, us to respect her boundaries. And I was just telling Portia that I think we should just leave her alone and respect her boundaries, because you don't want to push her towards Spencer. And Taggart said, no offense, but you are not her father. I said, tell him, Portia. Tell him he's not her father. Tell this man in front of Taggart. But anyways, y'all, messy boots. I cannot wait for this wedding in February. I'm ready for January to come on through, so February can come, and let it be on Valentine's Day too. Have a Valentine's Day wedding. I don't know when that wedding date is, but anyways, focus, Nikki. So she's telling him and everything that, you know, Curtis says, I don't mean to overstep. I just, you know, I was just saying. And he says, I understand. But he was like, Trina has pretty much told us, I don't want y'all in my business. He was like, I'm just going to be real with you, Taggart. She's pretty much told everybody, stay out of my business. Spencer, what I do in my private life with who I'm friends with is none of your business. And I need you to mind it. And so Taggart understands that, but he says, but when it comes to our baby girl, we're going to find out who she's being around, and if they're no good for her and everything, we're going to find that out. And so, you know, Curtis can't say anything that's not his child, you know, so he can't really say anything. So Taggart ends up leaving, right? And when he leaves, Portia talks to Curtis and she says, I'm sorry, Taggart's just really protective over Trina, because Taggart really did come to see Trina, but Trina was sleeping or something. So he told her, when the princess wakes up, tell her to call me. So Portia tells Curtis he's really protective over his princess and his daughter, and he says, no, I get it. He says, I will, you know, stay in my lane. He said, besides, I can't wait for us to have children. Baby, the way Portia looked, I said, girl, tell this man, because he said he wants a child that has that Ashford last name. He wants a child of his own. I said, girl. And she said, oh, talking about, you know, kids and then actually having a kid of our own, that, you know, that's different. And he just told her, you know, he's always wanted a child and that would be his dream. I said, that ain't gonna come true. If Portia mess around and get pregnant again by this man, I said, oh, Lord. Girl, I don't know what to tell you, Portia. I'm not gonna be hard on you, because I felt like I was hard on you the last time we spoke. So I'm gonna leave you alone this time, girl. But you better get it together. And I can't wait till you get this wedding. Anyways, let's move on. So Spencer done called Diane over. He said, come on, Diane, I need some legal expertise. And she says, calling me over, summoning me at this time of the night and everything is costly. He said, I could pay that in your retainer, and I could do that today. And because he told her I'm good for it. I said, girl, this man is good for it. But he said, you're the best, Diane. And she said, flattery will only get you so far. What you want? And he says, I want custody of a child. And so she's like, what child are you talking about? Esme? And he was like, you know, Esme. And she said, oh, well, we could try to get legal custody and all that since you're the parent. And then he said, what about a sibling? And she said, wait a minute now. What are you talking about? Wait, she said, Nicholas and Esme? Baby, she is me too. Even Diane was shocked by that one. And he said, so how can you get custody? He said, I know it's possible because Michael did it. She said, Michael only wanted temporary custody. You talking about, I don't think you want a temp. You want full custody, never get a baby back. And he said, yeah. And he says his father doesn't deserve the baby. And Esme, please. And she said, but okay, but you can't go into to a judge and be so angry about your father, because it looks spiteful, like you're doing that out of revenge and vengeance, instead of doing this for the best interest of the child. And Spencer, honestly, a part of him does dislike his father that much, and he doesn't think Esme would be a good parent from the Esme that he knew. But also a part of him is like, this child doesn't deserve that as parents. I want to raise a child that knows that they're, taken care of and they're loved, and they don't have to. It was like my dad pretended to be dead most of my life. And then when he came back, he wanted a woman more than he wanted a relationship with me. A child doesn't need that. So Diane said, I'm going to take the case, but I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be difficult. And she said, you're going to be setting a lot of relationships on fire. It's gonna be like a wildfire, and it's gonna damage a lot of relationships. Are you prepared for that? I want you to take a long, hard sit down and think about it before you do it. And he said, okay, he's gonna think about it. So baby, we get over here, Drew, Carly, and Sonny. And Sonny is still trying to figure out what's going on. Why is where is Nina at? And Carly doesn't really want to say. She doesn't want to say. And so around this time, Dante ends up coming up. And she tells Dante, will you, Drew and Dante, they leave so that Carly can talk to Sonny in private. And they're like, okay, cool. And so when Carly talks to Sonny in private, she tells him everything about how Nina is Willow's mother. And he said, what are you talking about? And so then she goes to telling him, and he said, you did this out of revenge, Carly. You did this on purpose. You purposely kept her from her child. And Carly is trying to deny it, that she did it that way, that she was trying to get payback from Nina. But Sonny doesn't believe it. And, it is what it is. He will never see that Carly didn't do this to get to, hurt Nina the way she hurt Carly the way Nina hurt Carly when Carly thought Sonny was dead. So then we go into the room, right? And Michael and Willow and Nina are there. And Willow is just like, get out. I want her out. Actually, no, call security to escort her because we don't want to be in trial again. And she was like, Michael, why aren't you telling her to leave? Because Nina's like, I'm the only one that can help you. She was like, what are you talking about? And Michael says, I think you need to listen to what she has to say. Because she's like, Michael, why are you not? And so then she's like, what? And so Nina just tells Willow, I'm your mother. And she says, excuse me, what? And she said, yes. She was like, you must have lost your mind, Nina. You cannot be my mother. And Nina says, yes, I am. I'm your biological mother. You're my daughter, Willow. And so Michael is just like, he's sitting there, and Willow is like, Michael, tell her she's lying. Tell her this isn't the truth. And he says, Willow, it's the truth. Drew told me. And she said, Drew said he couldn't find my parents. And he said, but new information came along, because Michael really didn't want to say anything about Carly. But she said, so Drew told you. And Nina was like, no, Carly told me. And Michael looked back like, and so she finds this out, and she's like, oh my gosh. And Nina is just like, I want to help you. I want to get tested. And Willow tells Michael, go, can you leave me and Nina alone? So when she leaves Nina and Willow alone, when he leaves them alone, she just tells Nina, because what Nina is going on about, okay, we're family. You're the daughter I thought I lost. I had twins and I didn't know it. She explains the whole situation. She said Nell was given to the Bensons. You were given to Harmony, and I didn't know I was having twins. So now I know, and I'm just, oh my gosh, she said, and I know how we feel about each other, but years from now, we'll look back on this and tell Wiley about it and the new baby, because Nina's thinking about, oh my God, I finally got my family. Because, she's just thinking, I finally got my family. This has been such a lot. I thought I had lost my daughter forever. I thought I didn't have any family left that she birthed. You know what I mean? And so now to find out she has Willow, and she has her grandson Wiley, because baby, Willow said, Wiley is my nephew. I said, girl, please stop talking, because when you think about it, Kiki was her sister. Michael was with Kiki. Nell's sister, Michael was with Nell, and now here goes Willow. I said, "You got to type, Michael. You got to type." And it's all the Dr. Cyrus children. That's your type. But anyways, she's just like, Willow tells her, I spared you I gave you dignity, and I spared you the embarrassment of me telling you this in front of Michael, but I don't want anything to do with you. You harassed me, and you made my life hell, and you think we're gonna sit around and tell Wiley about court dates and the way you treated me and everything? I said, I mean, is anybody surprised Weeping Willow feels this way? I'm not. I mean, we all knew her reaction was going to be to tell Nina, I don't want anything to do with you. I said, but girl, if you tell her you don't want that bone marrow, that's on your dumb ass. If you say, I don't want your bone marrow and I don't want the transplant, and you would rather leave your 2 children because you got stage 4 cancer, you would rather leave your 2 children, then that's on you. But I get why she doesn't want a relationship with Nina, and I respect that. And Nina just tells her, I understand. Like, if you never change your mind and you don't want to give this a chance, I get it. She says, because Willow is like, I don't want anything from you. But she says, I'm going to save you. You're my daughter, and I'm going to save you whether you want it or not. And then when Nina said, oh my gosh, we have the same eyes. And I was like, what, Nina? And then they did a close-up on their eyes. I said, they do have the same eye color. Okay. And so that was it with them, y'all. Nina was like, you don't have to have a relationship with me, but you're not gonna die. I'm not gonna have another child die, and that's just it. If I have to do it, even from you, in spite of you, I will. And so where are we at now? Oh, went back. Sorry. So then we see Drew, Carly, and Sonny, and Drew comes up and he tries to defend Carly and say, but Sonny said, you know about this too? And Drew was like, no, I just found out about it recently. He didn't know. And they're going back and forth because Sonny is like, you did it on purpose, Carly. And she's like, no, I didn't. But you would think that. And that's why y'all are not about to sit up and tell me Carly and Nina are not alike, because the same way y'all say that Nina always plays victim and she always has excuses, this is Carly. But you're right, because Carly is worse because she feels no guilt about what she's done. She doesn't feel bad. She feels justified in everything that she's done. No matter how wrong Carly can be, she feels justified in it. Well, this is the reason I did it. She always has an excuse or an explanation, and in her mind it's fine, but in other people's minds it's not. And Michael is one of the people she has to deal with. So he comes out and he tells them, because Willow had asked them to give her and Nina space, so he comes out and he tells them, are y'all kidding me right now? Stop bickering like children. Stop it. Like, are y'all really doing this right now? And they were like, they were sorry for what, going at it with each other and everything. And he was like, you should be. And so then he tells Sonny, let me, because they asked him how Willow is doing. And he says she's hanging in there, but Nina is in there right now. And she said, and Carly is like, why would Nina be in there? Why didn't she just go to the and get tested or whatever? That's not your business. And Sonny says, you don't have a right to ask that after what you've done. And so then Michael and tells Sonny, can I talk to you in private? So he takes Sonny away, and Sonny says, what can I do for you? How can I help? And he says, I need you to stop arguing whatever you feel about what she did, put that to the side right now. I don't need this bickering. And because Michael's like, I need to focus and everything. I can't believe my mom knew we were looking for Willow's family and she didn't tell. And he said she did that because of Nina. And that's when Michael told him, put that to the side and just help me. And he was like, what do you need? And so again, that's when he was telling him, what I need is for you to stop arguing with her about Willow. And in front of Willow, put whatever you're feeling for Mom aside. And he's like, okay, then that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And so then he asks Michael, how are you holding up? And he says, I have to protect Willow. Like, her world is coming apart right now, and I just have to be there. And Sonny just tells them, you're being a good husband, not husband, you're being a good partner, you're being a good father. and you're doing what you're supposed to do. And they just share a nice little moment. It's a nice little moment between the two of them. So, I mean, you can't knock it. So then we see Drew and shoot, I forgot to add these. Well, I did add this picture. Sometimes this thing does wrong. Canva. But anyways, we see Drew and Carly and they talk, and she just thanks him for not, being too hard on her. He said that doesn't help Willow right now. And she says, Michael can't even look at me. She said, I expected Sonny to be angry, but Michael can't even look me in the eyes. And he said, we're all gonna need some time. And she says, I understand. And up. And then she says, she just hopes Michael can forgive her. And then we see Michael goes and he speaks to Willow, and Willow is just like, why her? Of all the people that could have been my mom, why Nina? And so he's comforting her, and then Nina comes out and she goes to Sonny and she says, I have a daughter, Sonny. He said, yeah, you do. And she says she doesn't want anything to do with me. And so Sonny is comforting her. And y'all, that was General Hospital today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all-new episode of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital Edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Up. Achoo.